Greetings and welcome to another episode of SPCA Stories. Hope you are all doing well. If you are new to us, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Dawn Fenton, SPCA Monterey County Content and Education Manager, and we are coming to you from the SPCA Monterey County Claire Jacobson Learning Center in gorgeous Salinas, California. This week's episode of SPCA Stories is a little different. We're trying out a new storytelling format, bringing you closer to the moment, the emotion, and the journey of one very special dog. Instead of our usual interview, this episode unfolds more like a story, one that lets you experience each step along the way from rescue to recovery to a happy ending. We'd love to hear what you think, but for now, just sit back, listen, and let us take you into the story of sweet Enoch. In March of 2023, a good Samaritan noticed a dog in a field near the Salinas River. Thin, tired, caked with mud, no owner in sight. Just a gentle, gray, bully-type dog standing quietly, as if waiting for someone who wasn't coming back. Instead of turning away, they decided to help, and that decision changed everything. Today's story is about that dog, Enoch. From the moment he arrived at SPCA Monterey County, Enoch captured hearts. But behind his soft, sweet eyes was a body worn down by neglect and questions no one could answer. What had he endured? And would he survive what came next? In this episode, you'll hear from Jacob Duarte, Humane Investigations Supervisor, about the moment Enoch entered protective care. Dr. Kate Riley, SPCA veterinarian, shares the medical fight to save him. And finally, Isela Robles and Harrison Perdue, the people who brought him into his new forever home with open, loving arms. This is a story about compassion, resilience, and how one act of kindness can ripple into a forever home and a happy ending. This is Enoch's story.
Every day, I think every day, especially when he's cuddling with us, it crosses my mind. Crosses my mind, oh, where was he before this? He was out sleeping in the dirt by himself, numerous days, and it just makes me hug him even tighter.
Officer Jacob Duarte.
So Enoch came to us when a private citizen found him running around the field next to the riverbank, Salinas River. He saw that the dog Enoch was injured, so he lured him in with just giving him treats, giving him snacks from his lunch. So when Enoch got close enough, the private citizen did snap a couple photos, managed to catch him, put him in his vehicle, and brought him here to the SPCA. I received a phone call right away. They saw the injuries. They saw what was wrong. He had a chain, or the private citizen told us he had a chain that was around his neck that had been embedded into the neck area.
Dr. Kate Riley.
As soon as he got here, everybody knew that he would need to see a veterinarian right away. So he was brought down to our clinic building where our veterinarian could take a look at him immediately. Our facilities department provided the tools that were necessary to remove the large chain from around his neck, because that is much larger than what we usually have to deal with our medical equipment.
It was 2-inch thick chain, very heavy. Why someone would have that around a dog's neck, I have no idea.
It had been on him so long that it was actually embedded in the skin of his neck, and the skin had grown up and around the chain. So he received pain medication and anesthesia, and the veterinarian actually had to surgically remove the chain that was wrapped around his neck because it was so tight and had been there so long. It was buried deep in his skin. In addition to that, the rest of his skin didn't look so great. He was covered with fleas. He had some dried mud caked on his legs, various cuts and scrapes from just, wandering around outside. And he was very thin. So he definitely family had been out there for a while and not in good shape. So while he was under anesthesia and the veterinarian was working on the chain, the rest of the staff worked on, cleaning him up, getting some of that mud and dirt off, cleaning some of those smaller wounds and making sure there wasn't anything else serious that we need to deal with.
We took some photos. We got some information of where he was found, gathered up just any information that we can try to locate an owner and see who did this to the dog. Later that afternoon, making contact with the private citizen, I went out to the area where Enoch was found, gathered more information, gathered more photos there of the area. We put it out there with the reward because it was so broad of an area to really locate just one specific home. There will be no homes in the area next to the riverbed. I decided to give out a reward, $1,000 reward, in hopes that we can locate the person responsible for doing that to an animal. Unfortunately, we didn't get anywhere. We didn't find an owner, which is the really sad part.
We did notice at the time also that his ears had been cropped very close to the head, which can predispose them to ear infections and irritation, which he certainly had going on. And unrelated to what he had gone through, he had a condition called entropion, which is where the eyelids roll in on themselves a bit, and then the hair rubs on the surface of the eye, and that causes a lot of irritation. And that's common in pit bulls, bully breeds, pugs, things like that. So that had been going on since long before the chain, but that was certainly something contributing to his discomfort.
But we did everything we possibly could for him here. Our vet clinic obviously did a wonderful job just treating him.
And so we took it step by step. The infected chain was obviously the most important thing to address, so that we took out first and started him on daily antibiotics and pain medication. And then we waited to make sure that his condition stabilized before we performed the elective procedures of performing a neuter and then fixing his eyelids, so that he could be more comfortable and see better. And with, the careful attention of our veterinarian and our clinic staff, that all went extremely well. He did well under anesthesia. He received medicated baths for the rest of his skin to make sure that that was getting healthier and healing well. And it took over a month for him to really return to what we would consider normal and healthy because of all the stuff that he was dealing with. But the entire time that he was in our care, he was really good, really cooperative with all of his treatments, all of his baths, took his medicine really well.
Great dog. Even it's heartwarming when they brought him here. It was just, he wanted love.
And he was just so patient, so happy with all of our staff.
He would approach everyone and anyone. You pet him, he licks you.
All he wanted to do was crawl in your lap and get hugs and love, and he would just sit quietly. So it was easy to restrain him for the exams. He wasn't trying to be wild and jump all over the place like some of our younger patients are. He wanted a hug, so he would just climb on top of you, and you just had to sit there and hold him still while he was getting the rest of his treatments.
And now he has a wonderful life.
Oh my God, he got the best possible family. They fell in love with him just from having seen his picture online and really empathized with his story very deeply. And he, went to a family that has a nice home for him. He wasn't really comfortable being indoors at first. We don't know what his living situation was before he was found. But given that he was wearing such a large chain, he was probably chained up outside for the majority of his time. So he was afraid to go through doors. He was afraid of the smooth kitchen floor. He didn't know what furniture was. And he's become a really integral part of their family. And they are just so kind to him, and they love him so much. And every time I see him, he's got, a different t-shirt, a different collar. Like, they take, great care of him, and he always looks great.
Isela Robles and Harrison Perdue.
He saw the story. He was scrolling through Facebook, and at that time, dog was not on my mind. And he was like, "Oh, look at this." He was previously showing me pictures of dogs, so I was kind of ignoring him. And he showed me the story of Enoch, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that is it was a very touching and sad story." But I kind of just ignored it after that because I know where he was going with. But then I read the story, and then slowly it was just growing in my heart. And then one day after Little League practice, he's like, "Why don't we just go see him?" And I was like, "Okay, let's go." And we came, and they brought him out, and it's my heart melted. I felt so heartbroken for him. And he came straight to me, and then I was like,
yeah, just knowing the struggles that he went through, countless nights, out in the rain, sun, not having no water, you know, and the abandonment that he was going through, you know. And after you guys showed us the picture, I think, you know, it more melted on us a little bit more, you know, just the pain that he was going through. I think it really opened us up to like, hey, let's take him home, you know.
There's something about him too that I notice, well, with my daughter, especially since she has, you know, she's autistic. I don't know if he maybe feels her emotion, but he kind of right before she's gonna have a tantrum, she'll run into the room like he knows it's coming.
So he takes care of her.
Yeah,
Yes.
he takes care of her. Yeah.
Man, I have to admit, the first time I laid eyes on him, I was a little shocked. I was like, man, this guy went through some stuff. Like, wow. And then he went straight to her and just sat on her lap. And I think he just felt the warmth of her. And I think he felt at home. I think he was just like, man, please take me, or, you know, please, like, just adopt me. Give me
Like,
my forever home.
When you first saw him
Yeah.
on Facebook,
Yeah, when I first
I
saw
know
him,
you were like, man, look at this story. Who would do that?
Yeah.
Remember you were telling me?
Yeah, and I think his story hit a lot of people because we take him out, you know, in public, and a lot of people ask, hey, is this the dog that was in the vineyards, or is this him? And I was like, yes. No way, this cannot be the dog. Like, this cannot be the dog. And I'm like, yeah, this is him. Like, he's healed up, fully bloomed, ready to go. No way. Like, he touched a lot of people. A lot of people that were down in that area knew, like, about his story. So, you know, I'm very thankful to God that we got him.
He's like one of my kids. My baby.
Yeah.
Our baby.
Our baby.
Yeah, he's a big part of my
Yeah.
heart. Yeah, definitely.
And he's a big part of all of
Yeah,
our
all
families,
of us.
because I would like to thank the SPCA for, you know, giving him, you know, the second life opportunity, you know, and enjoy a family like us, you know, to give him a forever home, and, you know, just to live life and love life. And, you know, just knowing that there are humans out there that do respect animals and that do love animals, you know, and want an animal in their family, and, you know, also want an animal in their lives, you know, because
Animals have souls too, you know?
yeah, this guy's just a beautiful dog that just loves humans and just wants to be petted. Yeah, and he loves other dogs. Like, all he wants to do is just play with dogs. I'd like to thank the SPCA for letting Enoch have his forever home and, you know, let us enjoy him.
That's Enoch's story. From a quiet, lonely field by the Salinas River to a life filled with love, safety, and second chances. Because one person chose to stop, to care, and to act, Enoch's life was forever changed. And thanks to the dedicated team at SPCA Monterey County and the compassion of a community that refuses to look away, he got the future he always deserved. Today, Enoch isn't just surviving, he's thriving. You can even follow along with his new life and see his happy ending continue to unfold on his very own Instagram account. That's 831Enoch, 831ENOCH, if you'd like to follow him. A recent update from his family. Enoch is doing great. He is loved so much by his family and friends. There are 7 O's in that so. So he's loved so much by his family and friends. If Enoch's journey touched your heart, you can be part of stories just like his. Whether you choose to adopt, foster, volunteer, or donate, you are helping animals who are still waiting for their second chance. Thank you for listening to SPCA Stories. If this episode moved you, please share it, because you never know who might be inspired to stop, to care, and to change a life. We would love to hear from you. If you have questions or just want to say hello, you can drop me an email at dfenton@spcamc.org. You can find more information about all of our programs and services at spcamc.org. I'm Dawn Fenton, signing off until next time. Much unconditional love to you and your pets from all of us here at SPCA Monterey County.